This episode is supported by MonsterJoysticks.com. Level up your Raspberry Pi with our all-in-one arcade kit using genuine Sanwa arcade parts. And OneClickPrint.com for your photos on canvas, acrylic, gifts and more. Local craftsmen and global delivery.
Hello cave dwellers, the big chair's out in the cave, which means we've got some things to talk about today, including why I've changed the name of the channel. Quite a significant change. Some of you may not have noticed it. I did it about a week ago, but it's up there, it's changed, and I'll explain why that's happened, and the future of the cave, its location is in jeopardy, and I'll explain what I'm doing about that today. There will be jump cuts, just because I'm talking off the cuff and from the heart today, so I don't want to try and repeat things if I mess up what I say, like this. You see? Now, the channel name change. The channel is now officially RMC. It's just RMC. It's not Retro Man Cave. It's just RMC. And the reason I've done that, to explain it, we should probably start with where the name came from in the first place. And we have to go all the way back to 2012. Now, the channel was set up as Retro Man Cave. I registered it on the 1st of January 2012, way back. And here's an intro from that very first video that I uploaded. That's the basement from my house at the time. That's where I used to tinker with all my retro. It was the only space that I had to do it in. And it had that little sign up there, Man Cave, which was gifted to me by my wife at the time. And I just thought, that works. I'll stick the word retro above it on the intro. There's your channel name. Done. And this was without any view whatsoever to become a YouTuber, to create any more videos than I had to. And the videos that I had to create then were eBay videos, eBay listing videos. I had to sell my old retro kit, and I decided to use YouTube to add videos to eBay listings so people could see the quality of the stuff that I was selling, because I had some really good retro kit that was worth a lot of money and I wanted to represent it well in the listings. So that's why and when and how I registered the channel. So the channel was never registered with the intention to become a YouTuber, to make regular content, anything like that. Fast forward to it was February the 6th, 2017 was the first time I sat down and put out a video as you might recognise it from the current channel. It was a review of a game called Combat Links. In fact, the first 4 or 5 videos I put out were reviews of flight simulators, because that's what I intended to do at first, to be a flight simulator channel. So it's Combat Links, February the 6th, 2017. And why didn't I set up a new channel? Well, strangely, even though I hadn't eBayed for years, just off the back of having those videos on YouTube, the channel had accumulated I think it was 1,000 subscribers for really doing nothing. Now, anyone who's out there who's tried to start a YouTube channel recently knows how difficult it is to gain traction and to get an audience. So I thought, well, let's just use that audience. It's a channel, it's got 1,000 subscribers. They might, and in fact they were pleasantly surprised when I started uploading content. And they were, oh, I remember you. You sold stuff on eBay. This is great. and so I immediately had an audience, and it grew from there. With hindsight, was that a mistake? Yes and no. I mean, it's impossible to say or to have predicted that the channel would have grown in the way that it did. You know, it absolutely exploded. Here we are 3.5 years later with 118,000 subscribers. So it was a very organic thing. That's all there is to say about it, really. That's the origin of the channel name and how we got to where we are today. Now, that growth to 118,000 subscribers was certainly unexpected. But what was also really unexpected for me was the community that grew around the channel. I'm not just talking about the comments in the YouTube section. And you just have to look at my 1996 PC, my compact PC episode that came out last week. So many people sharing their memories of their system of the time. And that's just the comment section in YouTube. There's also my Discord server, where we've got general chat and breakout rooms where people help each other with technical problems with their retro kit. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of that stuff. There's a wonderful, wonderful community that's grown around the channel. The Cave Dwellers, as I've called you from the start. And I'm really proud of you guys. I'm really proud of the Cave Dwellers. I feel like, I feel responsible for you. And I love it. It's wonderful. So why am I telling you this? How does that tie in with the channel name? Well, the community that's grown around the channel is diverse, it's wonderful, and it's anything but a man cave. The message that the name gives out, Retro Man Cave, is in no way representative of the community that we have. Now, yes, that community is weighted towards male membership. That's the way it is in the IT industry and in the technical industries. It's very male dominated. But it's not exclusive. RMC has never been the exclusive domain. There's never been a sign on the door that says men only. It's not a men's club. It never has been. It never will be. So I want to put out the right message. That's what my heart's telling me. Change it to be more representative, to put out the message that anyone is welcome. And it's not just a man cave. That's what it comes down to. And I recognise this. I would say, well, over a year ago, I recognised this. And I started changing it probably about 8 to 12 months ago. Some of you may have noticed this. We have this original logo in the cave, and then we switched to this, which used to appear at the start of every video. And then when that disappeared, that's when the changes started coming into place. I also changed all my banners to remove any reference to Retro Man Cave. It says things like "Welcome to the Cave" and "Cave Dwellers." And I've referred to the channel as RMC and said, "Hello, welcome to the cave" at the start of videos for a long time now. So I've slowly been just sort of making that slow change. But there would always come the crunch point when things would become much more publicly noticeable. And that's what I've been doing over the last week. And boy, has it been hard work to go through all of your YouTube videos, all of your social media channels, your Patreon, everything, your email address, your domains, to change everything to a different channel name. It's been hard work. I've not been taking a week off this week. It's been a huge amount of work. And I think I've got it all. Yes, there will be things that I can't change. For example, when I say out loud in a video, Retro Man Cave, I can't go back and change that. That's just part and parcel of the history of the channel. But going forward, it won't happen. It's just RMC from now on. And it's actually been quite nice because it's brought some continuity to the whole thing. So YouTube is now youtube.com/RMC Retro. Twitter, RMC Retro. Instagram /RMC Retro. There's even a MySpace page, myspace.com/RMC Retro. So I've brought continuity into all of my channels, which I didn't have before, which is an added bonus. And I'd love it if you take a moment to subscribe to those channels. Come and follow me on Twitter or whatever social media that you use. Now, that's the heart reason why I've updated and changed these things. There's also the head reason, the commercial reason, because this channel is my livelihood. It's my job. Yes, it started out as a hobby and it's still my hobby and I absolutely love what I do, but it is a business. We've got to be realistic about this. So there's the commercial argument from the head, which is, do companies that are potentially interested in partnering with me want to partner with a company that's called Retro Man Cave? It immediately puts out the message, as I explained, that it's a male domain and it's exclusive and it eliminates potentially half of an audience. On the face of it, I think companies probably will and have shied away from it for that fact. Whether you agree with this change or not, I think that's just a simple fact that there will be companies that take one look at it and say, no, I don't want to look any further into that guy because he excludes half of our audience. So that's the commercial reason why we have to do this. The old-fashioned SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. I've identified the name of this business, of this channel, as a threat. And I think it's a much more positive thing to do to change it now than to wait 5 years when pressure is put on me to change it. Because I do think that it will become not just commercially unviable, but the way that trends in public opinion are changing, and also the sheer aggressiveness of social media, it really has gone up a notch this year. Why make yourself a target? Why make myself a target? And why make you, the Cave Dwellers, a target for supporting something that potentially, not now, but let's say in 5 or 10 years' time, opinion could shift and make it a target, make you a target. I say you may disagree with that, but that's something I've identified as a threat, and I want to squash it here and now. So hopefully that explains why I've changed the channel name. I hope you'll continue to support the channel as it now is, as RMC. You're still the Cave Dwellers. And it is just one of those things, a side effect of a channel growing organically so quickly and so unexpectedly. And the way we have to just adapt to survive and to represent the community we've created better. I think it's the right move to make, and I hope that you'll agree. Now, onto the cave itself. Step outside with me and look at the gates, because when I left the office on Friday last week, I saw this. For those who don't know, the cave is a basement office. It really is an underground cave in a building. It's 4 stories high, so I've also got storage in the attic in the 4th story. It's all businesses, all rented, leased out offices here, and this planning went up to convert the whole building into 7 residential flats. Now, long-term followers of the channel will know that I've had run-ins with my landlord before. There was a period where he left me without usable lighting down here, no natural light, and no usable lighting for 3 weeks. I couldn't make videos for 3 weeks. It was an absolute nightmare, and he was just a about the whole situation. So I already know the kind of person that he is, and it comes as no surprise to me that I should discover that this change has been made from a council sign that the council have to put up by law on the gates, and not from him talking to me directly and saying, oh, by the way, this is happening. You know, we've got other property that we can move you into, or you might want to think about looking around. No, I find out on a Friday night, leaving the office and seeing a sign on the gate. Yeah, that was a bit of a shock. So, of course, it's kicked me into action. Now, I already had plans to try and find a bigger cave next year, but it's brought that forward. So I've also spent this week, as well as rebranding, looking around properties. We found some really good ones. And, well, let me tell you what the objective is with a new cave. First of all, it's to find a bigger cave. I want something that's probably 3 times the size of this one, with a view to having this set and this studio and carrying on doing what I'm doing. On top of that, having a space where all of those Trash to Treasure computers can be set up permanently and not put into storage, with a view to having open days. Now, I have had a long, hard think over the last 18 months, in fact, with a team, with Mark and Dean, a couple of guys who have been helping me with this. We did think about creating a museum, but that opinion has shifted, because now is really not the time, in the climate that the world's in at the moment, to have a hands-on museum where you're all coming in, touching things, you know, being packed into a room. It's not the time to do it. It would be a really bad business decision to do that now. So what I want to do is expand the cave in such a way that there is a private museum, if you like, and every month we can have open days where the cave dwellers can come pre-booked, so that we know there'll be a good turnout, and I can lay on food, drinks, entertainment. We can have guest speakers. We can have people like Ravi or Hoffman come and do a DJ set, and we can just have a really nice day celebrating what's here in the cave. Show you the studio, things like that. So that's what the extra floor is for. And then beyond that, I've got plans to increase the content with the help of some retro friends. Oh, friend! But I don't want to go into too much detail on that, because we haven't even got the new location yet. So what we are and aren't able to do is very dependent on the type of property that we find. I'm sloshing my coffee everywhere here. Let's put that down. So once I've found a property, I can really drill down into the details of what we want to do. But yeah, I've been looking around, and it's quite positive what's out there. Unfortunately, a lot of businesses are going under, particularly now what's called the furlough scheme here in the UK, which supports businesses that have had to really lock down to keep their employees paid. We had something called the furlough scheme. That's coming to an end, and it's predicted that a lot of people are going to be laid off. We're looking at sort of 1 million more people unemployed, are the predictions. So as a result, a lot of office space is becoming available, and that probably explains why my landlord is looking at converting this into residential space. It's just much more commercially viable. So I get why he's doing that. I do. But it means that those office spaces that aren't viable to be turned into residential space are coming up and coming available. So hopefully we'll find a really good space for a really good price. So I'll continue looking around, and I will update you when I've found something. But rest assured, what I do will continue exactly the way it always has done. And then hopefully you'll get some extra bonuses on top of that when we find the extra property. It is, of course, a big investment, to rent a bigger property. It's made possible thanks to the patrons, the official cave dwellers. So if you do want to get on board and try and help me to move forward to find a property that will really work and to help to grow the channel, then it's patreon.com/RMC Retro. And absolutely anything that you can do to help from there would be wonderful. My goal at the moment is to get 1,000 patrons. That's the dream. We're up to 800. Just need 200 more patrons to really push this dream, to really be able to help to fund. What happens over there, I'm not just putting all of that patron money in my pocket. There are bills to pay. But whenever, as it increases, I like that increase to be reflected into what I give back to you. And that's where this larger cave comes into it, and all of the other plans that are tied up in it to make the whole cave and the experience for you better. So if you want to help out, then please, I would love for you to go and do so. So I think that's all I've got to tell you about today. Watch this space. There's a lot of changes coming, but in the meantime, the regular weekly videos will resume. And the next big thing I've got on my hands is 2,000 books from the Retro Tea Break book Kickstarter arriving shortly. So I'll be packing those up and shipping them for you for the promised November delivery date. There's a hell of a lot going on here in the cave. Who would have thought that this year we would have released a record, we would have written and released a book, and we would have grown in the way we have. Long may it continue, and with your support. And I do, again, hope that you support the channel name change, and hope that you support the channel moving forward and continue to enjoy what we do here. Thank you for hanging out with me and the big chair today, and I'll see you in next week's video. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.